Hello, beautiful people. How are you all doing? So I'm here to talk about the lunar eclipse in a sign of Scorpio that will be taking place this Friday, which is May 5th, so 5-5 portal. Depends where you are in the world. For me personally, it will be happening about 11:34 in the morning, just before lunchtime. And this eclipse will be happening on 14 degrees and 58 minutes of Scorpio. So yeah, check your chart, what's going on those degrees, or what you got going on in Taurus, Leo, or Aquarius on those degrees, because they are all fixed signs, so they're gonna activate each other. And we've actually had the lunar nodes on these axes, Taurus and Scorpio axis, since January 2022, and they will remain here until July this year, 2023. But we will have one more eclipse in Taurus in October, 28th of October. But as we experienced, we already had the first eclipse in a sign of Aries last month, which was our new moon number 2 in Aries solar eclipse that took place in April. And yeah, the nodes will move into the into the axis of Aries and Libra on the 18th of July this year, and they will remain there until January 2025. So yeah, so this is usually a 18-year cycle when the nodes return to the same place. We have the what we call nodal reversal. So where currently we have South Node in Scorpio, North Node in Taurus. So in 9 years' time, we will have North Node in Scorpio and South Node in Taurus. And actually, just to give you some numbers, the North Node was in Taurus last time it's currently in Taurus, but last time before that was in 2003. From 2003 to 2004, then we had the reversal from 2012 to 2014. Currently we have what we have, and then the next round will be from March 31 until November 32, and this will be with the North Node in Scorpio. So that's the next time we will experience these axes again. And actually the very first eclipse in Scorpio we had on the 16th of May 2022, and then we had the other eclipse in Scorpio, which was the solar eclipse, and that was on the 25th of October 2022. So you can look back in time, travel in time, and see what was going on in your life, because this eclipse is actually a huge culmination in regards to these themes that's been going on in your life for past year, maybe even year and a half, or maybe even 9 years or 18 years. But probably the most felt will be the last year, since the last time we had this lunar eclipse in Scorpio until this time, which is almost a year ago. And yeah, what's been going on for you, because these themes are very likely to be reaching the point of culmination where there has to be some kind of adjustment, perhaps letting go of something in order for something new to arrive into our life. And this is the theme of the year for all of us individually and also collectively, where we are feeling this intensity and this pressure to create certain changes and adjustments in our lives because of this upcoming 20-year transit of Pluto through the sign of Aquarius that is banging on our door. And speaking of which, actually today when I'm recording this video, Pluto just stationed retrograde. So it's very interesting that it's happening just before this eclipse takes place. And as we might be aware, Pluto is actually squaring the nodes the entire year. The exact degree square is going to take place on the 28th of July. So again, this might be a time where we might get a little bit more clarity with regards to what is this thing that we need to change and let go of, and what exactly needs to be done in our life to be prepared for the 20-year transit of Pluto in the sign of Aquarius. And yeah, just with everything else that's going on in the sky, we just a couple days ago, we had Uranus sextiling Mars. Today, as I said, we have this station in retrograde for Pluto. Mercury is still going retrograde. We actually today also having Mercury conjuncting Sun in a sign of Taurus. So all these themes are very introspective themes. There are a lot of yin energy. There is a lot of this need for reconnection with oneself and understanding what is actually important for us and where we want to go from here onwards. And this is important thing to know, because actually this eclipse is happening in conjunction, well, Sun is in conjunction, almost in conjunction with Uranus. Is not exact conjunction. The exact degree conjunction will take place on May 9th, which is quite funny because that's the day I'm traveling, so let's hope it's gonna go okay. But it's already within an orb, so it's already within degree conjunction. So this Uranus is actually opposing this lunar eclipse, because Sun is in a degree conjunction with Uranus, and Sun is in opposition with the Moon, which is what creates this lunar eclipse, and also a full moon, because this is a full moon in Scorpio. So yeah, this is definitely some unexpected energy coming into play. So it could be anything with Uranus. Expect the unexpected, as we could have observed since 2018, since Uranus moved into the sign of Taurus. We experienced a lot of instability. The things that we considered as stable, as always there, that created our comfort zone, our food resources and everything like that, that's all becoming unstable. It's not as reliable as it used to be. Nothing is set in a stone anymore. And Uranus is in a sense helping us to become more flexible and adaptable and fluid, and go more with the flow, be more in alignment with our intuition, well, in our inner guidance, and be not too attached and rigid to how things used to be, but be more open to all these new energies that are streaming forward. Uranus is currently the ruler of Pluto, because even though Pluto is just stationed in retrograde today and is barely in Aquarius, I mean, it's on a 0 degree and 22 minutes, but it is still in Aquarius, and Uranus is the ruler of Pluto as we speak at the moment, and therefore this is also impacting Pluto. And I mean, like I mentioned, Pluto is squaring the node, so Pluto is part of the play of all the new moons and full moons and everything this year, well, at least the eclipses. But yeah, Pluto is definitely playing a very important role this year. Well, I mean, Pluto is always playing an important role, but this year especially, because it's squaring the nodal axis. So it's pushing us towards our evolution, like not so gently anymore. And the resolution is the south node, and that's exactly where this eclipse is happening. It's happening on a south node in Scorpio. So this is all to do with releasing those things of the past that are making us feel disempowered, stuck, feeling like we don't have control on our life or our circumstances. And this might also bring out old traumas, because Uranus also represents traumas, and it's in opposition with the Moon. Moon is our inner world, where we feel safe, where we feel emotional cared for. It also represents our family, but also our physical body. And in conjunction with the South Node, Moon being so close to South Node, I mean, it's not within degree, but it's taken into consideration because the lunar eclipse is happening on a South Node. It's actually bringing out stuff of the past, whether it's a past lives or these lives, but something from the past is being brought up for integration and culmination, and for us to be able to heal these things once and for all, and to be able to move forward with our lives and become free, become empowered, because that's what all this Pluto in Aquarius will be about, this theme. And currently, as we have Pluto square in the nodes, it's definitely pushing us more and more towards that state where we no longer can sweep the past under the carpet, but we actually have to face it, and we have to do what needs to be done in order to take our power back, to not allow the past or our past experiences or who we used to be in the past to rule our present and be taken with us into the future, because it doesn't have a place there anymore. We are reinventing ourselves. Everything is being redefined. Also with Saturn being in a sign of Pisces until 2026, is dissolving the old structures, the old definitions, and everything that no longer serves us. And actually Saturn is making a positive aspects to this eclipse. Saturn is in Pisces currently, so it's making a trine because it's a water sign, and at the same time it's actually also Mars is making a positive aspect from the sign of Cancer. So we have all this support from these watery signs on each sign that are helping us to let go of this past, to release all these attachments to suffering, because the Scorpio, like I said, has a problem with letting go, because detoxing is not a comfortable process. Usually we feel very sick before we can feel better, and Scorpio tends to attach very deeply, very intimately, and it makes itself vulnerable in order to belong, to attach, and then it's afraid of abandonment, loss, betrayal, and that's why it just doesn't want to let go. It clings for a dear life to this comfort zone, to this known, and that is making us stuck, making us feel disempowered and unable to move forward. And with the Pluto square is pointing towards the south node, so it's saying it's time to let go, it's time to release this, and that's the opportunity that we are having right now. And this is the last push, because this is the last eclipse in a sign of Scorpio for next 9 years. Literally the next one will be in 31, in 2031. So there will be other themes, of course, playing out in the meanwhile, but 31 is the next time we'll see the nodal axis in the same place in Taurus and Scorpio. So so this is a very interesting theme that we've got going on at the moment. And it's everything. There is still a lot of stuff happening in a sign of Taurus, as we know. Currently we have Sun there, Mercury retrograde, Uranus is still there, as I already mentioned. We will have the exact Sun and Uranus conjunction taking place on May 9th. So again, look out for that date, because with Uranus, expect the unexpected, but there is definitely a lot of opportunities for healing at the same time, because, as mentioned, Mars is still in a sign of Cancer, helping us, supporting us in this process of becoming a new version of ourselves. And actually Venus will be moving into the sign of Cancer shortly as well, only in few days time. And and Saturn will be in a sign of Pisces for the next 2.5 years, 3 years. So all these are supporting this eclipse, which is taking place in a sign of Scorpio. So there is definitely a lot of water to help us move these emotions, these energies, this stuck. Because emotion, energy is emotion. Emotion is energy in motion. So there is a definitely need for release. So this is what I'm mainly tapping into in regards to this eclipse, that the release is very needed. Also, actually, we have, it's a white orb, but we actually have a Neptune creating a positive aspect, to both South Node and to Moon, even though it is not within a degree. But again, that's another aspect of what needs to be dissolved, let go, that no longer holds a meaning, that no longer has a place in our life. And this is all to guide us towards this new direction in our life, just as it's been activated during the past eclipse, which was the first eclipse taking place in Aries. So as we can see, we have this double energy going on, where there is this new beginning pushing. It's already present, it's already visualized and everything, but there is this something else that still is holding us back and stuck in the past, just as it's described by the South Node in a sign of Scorpio, that there is still, our past is holding a power over us, holding a control, and there is this necessity to take the power back. And that's why actually Sun will be conjuncting Uranus, because it wants to eliminate this area of our life where it actually is this wound that we need to heal. Like with Chiron, Chiron is in Aries. That one is also indicating of of this new direction. Is telling us that it's okay to start anew, to reset your life and start all over again. Is never too late. You can, every single day of your life, you can start again. You can start afresh. So this is my feeling about this eclipse, that this is the main theme. It's going to illuminate to us where is the wound, where is the trauma that is stuck, keeping us stuck. It's somewhere in our subconscious. The sun will shine the light onto it to bring it into the surface, and then we'll have this opportunity to heal it. Because with the South Node, it's something of a past. It's something that we need to let go of in order to move into our future. And as I mentioned, Venus is just about to move, I believe it's on the 7th or the 8th, it's just about to move into the sign of Cancer. And Venus in Cancer actually is not in the best place, but, you know, she definitely will take care of our emotions there. You know, and she will be just more introspective, whereas now in the sign of Gemini, she's definitely having much more fun because there are all these options for her. But in a sign of Cancer, she again will go within, and she'll be much more introspective and and supporting us on this process, because at the time Mars will still be in a sign of Cancer. So as I mentioned, there is a lot of yin energy, a lot of watery energy, a lot of Taurian energy, well, earthy energy, which is again inviting us to ground, to go within, to introspect, to tap into our emotions and sit with ourselves. And this actually upcoming few days just before the lunar eclipse hits us, it seems to be very quiet. There is not that much happening. The only aspect that is quite significant leading towards this eclipse is actually Venus square Neptune, which will take place the day before on Thursday. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. There will be actually a longer video released again in collaboration with myself, Michaela, and Adriana, as you might have experienced a couple of weeks ago during our solar eclipse period. And you know, the last thing that I wanted to share was actually a practical application of how this showed up for me this past year. And it's very interesting because literally about the time of the first solar eclipse, of the first lunar eclipse in the sign of Scorpio, actually the solar eclipse can be included as well, but at the time I was physically here. I was in Mexico, and then I returned back to the UK and actually started my relationship with my last partner got really serious. And that was actually at the same time of this Scorpio. So it's a very Scorpionic theme. Like we got really intense very quickly, and things just moved on very fast and stuff like that. And then actually during the eclipse in October, November, so we had there was the lunar eclipse in Scorpio. So that was the solar eclipse in Scorpio and lunar eclipse in the sign of Taurus. That was the time when me and him broke up. And then actually now, just during the solar eclipse that took place 2 weeks ago, we had kind of like farewell conversation, even though we broke up 6 months ago and we were no longer together. But there was like this last culmination, like where we just wanted to know for sure where we are both at and which direction we heading in life. And that's exactly literal, you know, it's exactly literally like this is how it played out in my life, because Sun actually rules my 7th house, which is the house of partnership. Depends where things are in your chart, which of course I'll be more than happy to help you. You can reach out if you would like to have an astrology reading, but it depending how things are in your chart, where which houses is that affecting, and also where are the rulers and everything else. Those are the area where you will feel it the most. And and for me, well, Sun rules my 7th house, which is the house of partnership. So I was just joking, which is, I mean, not very funny, but it seems like always during the eclipse time, I seems to be either starting a new relationship or ending relationships or something. So anyway, but because actually my natal Sun is in opposition with Pluto, it's all about empowerment, and I perfectly understand how these themes plays in my life now. And when I give my power away, when I get too codependent or too attached to someone, or stop abandoning myself and my needs and values, just like with the Taurus, you know, like you have to understand what do you need and take responsibility for that. And actually the most important relationship you will ever have is the one towards yourself, because all the external relationship reflect that relationship, which is the primary relationship, because you will always be with yourself, no matter who else is in your life coming and going. But the relationship to yourself is the most important, because if that one is not healthy, then usually the people you attract into your life are reflecting that back to you, that whatever it's the, you know, the struggle. So anyway, so I just wanted to share that very briefly, because I felt that it was just so literal the way things played out for me in my personal experience. And as I said, look back 1 year ago, 6 months ago, what's been playing out in your life, and for sure there will be some themes in whatever area of your life that you feel like, oh yeah, there was something that began 6 months ago or 1 year ago, and now it's coming to the close, or something needs to be adjusted or changed, or my relationship towards myself changed in this period, so now I want something different, or I need to put stronger boundaries, because Saturn is in play here, and Saturn represents boundaries, even though in Pisces it might be a bit tricky because everything is like not defined so clearly. But in itself, Saturn as an archetype represents boundaries, emotional maturity. So where do you have to maybe put stronger boundaries, or take responsibility for what's going on in your life, so then you can take action and do whatever needs to be done. Again, before the end of this month, around 20th, 21st, Mars will move into the sign of Leo. And Mars in Leo is full of stamina, full of power. It wants to go out there and follow its purpose. So this is the time, during these eclipses is the time where we can really go within, really reconnect with our intuition, with our inner voice, inner guidance, and kind of start working towards what needs to be done, because this is actually a full moon. So full moon, it gives us a lot of light, even though it is an eclipse, which is very karmic energy, might not be necessarily positive or easy, because it's like something stronger than us is in control here, taking charge, especially if we kind of are not following the path we came here to follow. That's at least how I understand it. But all in all, it is a full moon. So full moon is the time of integration, is the time when the sun is showing you exactly what is going on, what needs to be done, what is the theme. It's no longer this black moon where we just putting out intention and saving the seeds, but now it's the time to actually see what's there and then take an action. So anyway, guys, this is what I've got for today. I hope that it's been helpful to someone. There'll be more deeper chat about the astrology aspect of this with my friends and astrologer colleagues, Michaela and Adriana. So that will be coming out before the end of the week. Keep eyes peeled for that. And for now, I send you all so much love and take care. A great week to everyone, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.